going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. This is going to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. I am joined by Mostema, an Italian pro, aka Klaus. He is currently #1 in the world with 6807 trophies. And this guy is a beast, and he's using a deck that you guys are going to absolutely love. It is so easy to use, and that's why I can't wait to share it with you guys. It's definitely going to be just as viable in this meta as the next meta. At least I can't see it going anywhere. It's the Giant Miner deck, but of course it has the 3 spells, as you know most Giant Miner decks do. It also has Night Witch and the double minions. So minions and minion horde. It is so easy to play once you understand the basics of how to use the giant and how to use the miner as 2 win conditions in the same deck. So basically how to play those 2 keys, how to play the giant and how to play the miner appropriately given the matchup, is going to be the strategy keys that we're going to try to hone in on today in this video. Now, would you guys believe, I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to say it now. I just recorded this whole video, and I did a live match at the beginning of it, and my mic was muted. What a noob I am, I'm telling you. But I know the second version is going to be better because I know how to explain the deck even better for you guys. So, I'm going to go ahead and show the replay. This matchup tears, there's no really super difficult matchup for this deck. I want to show you, I played against Klaus here with a Lava Loon deck, and I just want to show you how easy it was. I mean, granted, I'm a noob, but still, especially with Lava Loon, but still how easy it was for him. And I didn't make any big misplays. It's just when you have Night Witch in both of the minions, as long as you stagger them correctly, meaning that you're not going to just unload with all 3 at the same time on defense, you're going to be fine basically against any matchup. So this is exactly how you want to play against the Lava Loon matchup. You'll note that he played the giant behind the king tower there, guys. That's not going to be something that you're going to do in really any matchup except for Lava Loon. So just kind of note that. Most of the time, 90% of the time with this deck, the giant deck, you're going to be playing your giant afterwards. You're going to be playing your support troops first. And even when you do play your giant first, it's going to be oftentimes to distract the oncoming troops from the opponent. So here early on, I'm able to defend. I mean, I have a decent deck. I have the Valkyrie and the Tombstone, and I have the Fireball for his minions, but I'm never able to break through with my Lava Hound or my Balloon. So at this point in the match, I know he had a little bit of an elixir lead. He drops that giant, and I knew if I dropped the Lava Hound, I'm going to drop the Lava Hound, but still, like, I'm in a tricky situation because I know that he has minions and Fireball in hand and Zap at that. So I decided just to go with a Valkyrie here. I don't know, maybe you guys are Lava Loon pros and you can tell me how it's possible to beat this matchup, but I had no idea how to possibly win against it. And a Fireball comes down, I'm going to be relying on my Valkyrie there, I'm going to drop the Mega Minion, and then I'm going to try to execute a counter push. But again here, I do know that he has the Minion Horde in hand. So it's not like I can drop a Balloon here at the bridge. I have Zap, but, you know, the Balloon's not going to get to the tower. So at this point, I decided to go with my very first Lava Hound, you know, traditional push here. He's going to drop a giant right in the back as soon as I drop that Lava Hound, which is something that you guys can note as well. He doesn't hit me like opposite lane because he knows I have the Tombstone, and this is the correct play. That giant's going to do a good job of kind of supporting all his defensive troops. So here's the Night Witch, here's the minions on my Lava Hound. I opt to let the Lava Hound die at this point because, again, knowing that he had Minion Horde in hand, I opted just to defend here. And he's not getting a lot of damage, but he's getting significant chip damage with the miner onto my tower, and it's just adding up at this point. So again, here comes the giant in the back. I decide to go aggressive with a Lava Hound right at the bridge. I'm going to go ahead and drop my very first Balloon here, and I have Zap at the ready, and let's see how he handles this. It's going to be relatively easily. He's going to wait a few seconds. He's going to drop that Minion Horde before I have time to launch the Fireball. Meanwhile, I'm trying to defend against the giant, and he's going to make easy work of yours truly taking down my left tower right here, guys. So he made it look really easy, just to show you how really, given the, no matter the matchup, there's nothing that you can't handle with this deck. It actually does really well against air decks. And against golem decks, all you're going to want to do is, as soon as they drop the golem, you go aggressively in the opposite lane with the giant at the bridge. So guys, let's go ahead and get into the strategy keys that we talked about earlier. And let's start against Apple Thief. He is a really good player. Harry, Iranian pro, probably the best bridge spam player in the world, certainly on ladder. And here he is on the Apple Thief at the top of your screen, we're going to see how differently that Klaus plays this matchup here, guys. And you're really going to want to take note of the Miner, because this deck is so simple. 3 spells, those are pretty evident how you use spells, right? How you use the Giant, we already talked a little bit about it, but most of the time it's going to be at the bridge, or it's going to be as a distraction unit. How you use the Miner is going to be very important, because if there is a weak spot in this deck, what would it be? It's the fact that we only really have 2 kind of big bodies, 2 distracting units. There's no, there's no additional Knight or Ice Golem for kiting or Battle Ram for kiting around the opposite lane. We don't have any of that. So oftentimes we do have to be creative when using our Giant and our Miner in this deck. We have to use the Miner in defensive situations, which you're going to see a lot, not just in this match, but in several of the matches that we're going to be highlighting today from Klaus. So here comes the minions against the Inferno Dragon, just kind of cleaning up that push. You can see we haven't really been able to get any damage off of the opponent's towers, but the thing about this deck is you can win in one push with this deck. So biding your time and not being super aggressive is going to be very important. In fact, take note of all the plays that Klaus opts not to make. Not on this exchange here, but it's going to be a few times, I think maybe on the next push or maybe on the next replay, that he could have easily Fireball to kind of support a push, but he opts not to. So we'll kind of see the decision making behind that. So here comes a Lumberjack, or a Royal Ghost, excuse me, by the opponent, and we send in the Miner. And note where he sent that Miner into, guys. If you missed the B-Rad Miner God video from yesterday, I loved having B-Rad finally on the channel after 2 years of trying to get him on. And he said that is the smartest spot to drop your first Miner. Right in that corner. If you guys want to rewind, you can go ahead and do so and check it out. That is the magic area where not many people, pros aside, will be able to predict your Miner going there. So that's always where you want to go ahead and send your Miner in. Now this is what I'm talking about, guys, here. We could have, I want to pause really quickly. We could have Fireballed there, but we opted not to. Instead, we're sitting on 7 Elixir, plenty of Elixir left to defend against the counter push. So it's the decisions that Klaus doesn't make that you guys want to keep in mind as well. Another note is there's 3 ways to use the Miner in this deck, and you're going to have to use him in all 3 ways. Number 1 is defensively, cycled behind your King Tower in the corner. Number 2 is just on the tower to get chip damage, supporting a Giant push. And number 3, and this is key, you want to send him in as an assassin. You can see he just finished killing the Magic Archer in this situation. You want to send him in as the assassin to kill the mid-HP support cards after you have your Giant going down. So instead of sending the Miner in on the tower, you want to send your Miner in against that Ice Wiz, against that E-Wiz, against that Magic Archer, against that Musketeer, against that Wizard. You guys know what the support troops are. So that's it's going to be really, really important. Once you understand the Miner and the Giant and how to use them, it's a little bit different than traditional beatdown or traditional Miner poison decks, for example, then you'll have success with this deck, because the rest of it, as I was saying, and that's a defensive Miner right there for you guys. As I was saying, you have 3 spells, you have 2 win conditions, the Miner and the Giant, and then you have Minions, Minion Horde, and Night Witch. You know how to play Minions, Minion Horde, and Night Witch, right? So once you get the 2 win conditions down, this deck is gravy. You guys will be really, really set for success. So here comes the Fireball there. We finish off that Royal Ghost as well. And still, into overtime here, we still haven't done a ton of damage to the opponent's towers. But we're not pushing, we're not pressing, we're not overcommitting. A very crucial defensive Giant here, guys. That's what we talked about, using the Giant in kind of unorthodox situations, taking advantage of his big body to bide you some time on defense. And even though we use the Giant, we're able to cycle back to him. It's not like he's it's not like every time you use the Giant, you have to get tremendous offensive value out of him. Sometimes you just need him for defense. And then we use another defensive Miner, that's the 2nd or 3rd of the match, to go ahead and intercept and engage and kill that Royal Ghost. So again here, guys, just seeing the flexibility just in that push, that really illustrates everything that you guys need to know about how to use the Giant and the Miner in unorthodox ways in this deck to have success. So this is going to be the winning push here, guys. Here it goes, our surviving minions and bats. They're going to be comboed with the Miner. There's the Zap. Boom. Zap to retarget the tower from the Giant to the Miner. Essentially wins this match in one push. We get the Fireball out. We get the Giant to the tower. We send in Miner. Zap retarget to Miner. Tower down. Very, very well played there. Very well played. Let's go ahead and watch one against, oh, Big Spin, man. I love Big Spin, guys. Even if if you don't speak German, I would highly recommend you guys tune into his streams. Obviously, he speaks English. You can still ask him questions and whatnot, but he's just such a great player, so I just wanted to give him a big shout out. You can see the link to his Twitch channel in the description below. So here we go, guys. It's going to be an Ice Whiz cycled in the back for Big Spin. Big Spin, of course, being on the bottom. Yeah, we can't change that. And we go in as well with the Miner there. And again, the Miner is going to be targeted onto the Ice Whiz, not onto the tower. Now, sometimes you can switch it up. It doesn't always have to be on the defensive unit. But in a case like that, where we already had minions coming down, we needed to take care and mitigate that Ice Wizard. Otherwise, the minions would get no value. But it was a good defensive cannon cart there by Big Spin, albeit kind of negated by the fact that it died. But look at this matchup, guys, here against Graveyard. We have some counters. We have minions and Minion Horde. But we don't have Poison. We have Night Witch. But minions, Minion Horde, and Night Witch, they all died to Big Spin's Poison. So it's kind of a difficult matchup to negotiate here. So let's see how he does it. Gets the Giant to the tower, gets one swing on that tower, and then we immediately go opposite lane with a really big push here. Just identifying that there was no poison at the time in hand, and he just cycled his Ice Whiz in the opposite lane. And just that push, it's able to get a ton of damage, almost half the damage off of that right tower. Really, really good awareness, and that's like that will come in time. Don't expect to pick up this deck and in the first match be a pro and think, oh, I'm just gonna go opposite lane. I memorized every card in this deck. But when you go against a deck like this, especially a Graveyard deck, usually they have one or two air targeting cards. In this case, a Mega Minion and an Ice Whiz, and then they just have spells and tanks in Graveyard. So once you have an awareness that they're either low on elixir or they don't have a good air targeting troop in hand, you can go all in. That was a huge 8 elixir push, 5 for the Minion Horde and then 3 for the Miner. But the opponent Big Spin had to spend much more elixir trying to defend, and he wasn't even able to go in with the offensive Graveyard on the other end. So we're going to go ahead and use a combination of the Log, the Night Witch, and just putting pressure with the Minion Horde onto the tank to defend against this Poison Graveyard push. So the Poison in the Graveyard and the Ice Whiz, obviously the opponent's already using 12 elixir. You don't have to be afraid to use elixir to defend with this deck. So here we go again, guys. Getting that Miner onto the tower was absolutely crucial here, taking it down to 354. And the beautiful thing about having 3 spells is, you get 3 spells and a Miner is oftentimes it's very easy to get a tower down low and then just spell cycle or Miner cycle and defend, and eventually you'll get that tower down and pick up the victory, hopefully. So the Fireball comes down with 2 seconds left. Big Spin goes all out with the Graveyard, but it's not going to be enough time to get anything done before Klaus takes down that right tower. So very well played, guys. Before I let you go, I do want to watch one more matchup here against Why Always Me. Huge shout out to Why Always Me, a great, great player as well. And I wanted to watch this one because it's a P.E.K.K.A deck with the E-Wiz. So it's not an easy matchup, but luckily, the beautiful thing again about this deck is you have 2 win conditions. You don't just have to rely on the Giant. If the Giant can't break through, you do have that Miner as well. What's more is, whether you're playing a Golem deck or whether you're playing a Giant deck, the fact that you do have that Night Witch is absolutely huge. Night Witch is so underrated in beatdown decks. Well, not by everybody, but some people often underrate her power. The Bats just do a great job against P.E.K.K.As, against Lavaloon, against a lot of decks that otherwise you would struggle against. That's why Night Witch is really important in this deck. If you don't have Night Witch, it's tough to play this deck with the same kind of strategy that we've been talking about this whole video. She's been crucial, even against the bridge spam, in being that battle ram stopper, and there's no card like her in the game. So it's a tough substitution, but I guess if I had to, I would maybe go with Flying Machine. I know it sounds a little unorthodox, and it puts more pressure on your, I don't know, maybe now that I said that, I'm like, wait a second, you have nothing for ground targeting. But the risk there is going with Flying Machine is good because you have another spell bait. You could go with Magic Archer. That might be a good substitution. It's difficult though. You could even go with Bats for Zap Bait. But that's why she's just such a huge role that is hard to sub for in this deck. So here we go into the P.E.K.K.A. there, and you're going to see the power of the P.E.K.K.A. absolutely shutting down that push. But we're not panicking. At this point, what we're able to do here is just defend with the entire horde, and he does have the Fireball in cycle, but not before we can kill this P.E.K.K.A. before she does damage to the tower. Now, if you guys want to rewind while I was kind of blabbing on early on there, is that we saw a crucial Fireball misplay by Why Always Me, but he was able to recover from it. But just wanted to point that out, that there was a misplay in this match. It wasn't like it was a flawlessly played match. So here we go. It's going to be a Night Witch in the back here by Klaus, and again, dropping the support troops first and then dropping the giant after the fact is going to be very important. Giving the bat, in this case, in this matchup, it's always for different reasons, but in this matchup, giving that Night Witch more time to spawn more bats, right? So here we go, a big push into the P.E.K.K.A. again, using that miner as an assassin to kill the support, or to kill the support troops defending against your giant push. So we did a beautiful job there. We fireball that balloon, even though the knockback of the balloon didn't go in the right direction. The bats, again, the Night Witch's bats coming in crucial, killing that balloon before it can get to the tower. Does death damage, but that's not going to be enough here. A big monster push, again, that miner onto the opponent's E-Wiz, just taking care of the defensive troops is that miner. The miner's always going to be going in. You guys are going to see in this type of a matchup, the miner's always going to be going in right as that giant starts to cross the bridge. Miner goes in, boom, assassinate the support troops, assassinate the defensive troops. And here we go. The fireball here is going to almost end it with all that miner chip damage. This time, because the tower was so low and we were into overtime and we didn't have the giant still alive there, we put the miner on the tower. So just using common sense in those situations is obviously going to help you out there, guys. So here we go. It's going to be a balloon dying to the minion horde, and then the minions, and then the miner on the tower is going to go ahead and finish the job there. So I hope you guys have a better understanding on how to play both the miner and the giant in this deck to have success with it. This deck will surely be relevant and useful and good in meta in the next balance changes too. I don't see any balance changes having a profound negative effect on this deck, so hopefully you guys can play this all the way into next season and have a lot of success with it. So guys, thank you so much for the support. You guys have been absolutely amazing. I wish I could individually thank every single one of you. I know a lot of you guys don't even comment. You just watch the channel. And even if I've never spoken to you in the comments, just wanted to thank you again for your support and continuing just to watch and support the channel here, guys. Honestly, it really means everything to me. So guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Check out Klaus's player information and stats. Thanks to Stats Royale in the description below. Huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Check out his information as well. Guys, thanks for watching, and as always, take care, guys.